Texas sun. Texas sun. You say you like the wind blowing through your hair. Well, come on, roll with me till the sun goes down. Texas sun. Texas sun. Oh, baby, you're so gorgeous. How about you and me? Take a little trip in a big body. Take a ride with me, babe. You by my side. How does it sound? You and I. Oh, girl. Take a ride with me, babe. You by my side. How does it sound? You and I. Baby, oh. Take a ride with me, babe. You by my side. How does it sound?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you all hear me? Yes? Perfect.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our info session. We are very happy to see all of you here in Zoom. We are 48 people already. Wow. Thank you all for coming. Of course, it would be much nicer if we could meet you all in person, but unfortunately, that's the only way what we can do now. So I'm still happy that so many of you showed up. My name is Agnes Schramm, and I'm here with my colleagues, Nora and Mark from the iLab management team. And we also have some of our founders here, Emoke, Csaba, and Tommy. They will also talk to you later. So first of all, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what will happen tonight. So we organized this event because, as you probably know, our new application deadline is coming up in February. Our new cohort, our new one-year incubation program will start in the end of February, and you can submit your applications by the 7th of February. So we wanted to give you an opportunity with this event to get to know us a little better and to offer a chance to ask any questions. And we hope we can give you some kind of summary and overview about what we do and who we are. So what will happen today is that first we will tell you a little bit about the iLab, what we do here, and what our one-year incubation program means. And then we will have a panel discussion with the three founders who are here with us today. They will also tell you a little bit about their experience in the iLab and how they built their startups and how the iLab helped them with this. Of course, you will have a chance to ask questions from any of us in the end. So what I would suggest is that please mute yourself, first of all, so that there are no noises. And then we will start with the program. We will tell you about the iLab. We will then continue with the panel. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please write them in the chat box, and then we will go through them in the end. And of course, in the end, if you want to ask any question, then of course, you will also have a chance to do that. So let's start with the presentation. I'm just trying to hide the Zoom so that I can see my screen. So CEU iLab is the startup incubator of Central European University. I guess you probably all know CEU. You probably know that this is an international university. And I think this is one reason what makes us a little bit different from all the other incubators around, because we are part of a university, an international university, because CEU is accredited in the US, in Austria, and in Hungary. So we have campuses in these three countries, which means that our startup teams have access to all these countries. So this is already a great opportunity for them. If you heard about CEU already, you probably know that this is a top university on a global scale. So our programs, our departments are constantly ranked in major international rankings, like, for example, in the QS ranking and other famous international rankings, usually in the top 100 or 200. And we have students from all over the world. So this is a great opportunity for our startup teams to be part of a very international network. The iLab was launched back in 2016. And since then, we have already incubated more than 50 teams who came from around 15 countries. Originally, the iLab was an opportunity for CEU students and alumni to build up their startup ideas. But since a couple of years, we already opened it up for anyone. So right now, anyone can apply who has a good idea, who wants to build their business. So you don't have to be affiliated to CEU. So over the past 4 years, our teams have raised already 8 million euro funding and created more than 200 jobs. And here you can see some of the most successful teams, like, for example, Broker Chooser or Talkabout, who already have already 20 or 30 employees. Salarify, also a very successful fintech startup, or Plantcraft, whose founder is here with us today. So you can hear about them later today. So these teams already achieved some serious success. Here you can see the achievements of some of these most successful teams. And these are the achievements that we set as benchmarks for all the new teams. So these are, for example, raising an A round investment on the market, reaching more than 450,000 euro revenue, doubling revenue year on year, creating more than 10 jobs. So of course, not all of our teams are achieving these goals, but this is the benchmark that we set for them. So, and now we will deep dive into the main pillars of our incubation program. As you can see, these are all the things that we offer in our one-year incubation program. And now we will go through each of them. And here I will give it over to my colleague Nora, who will tell you a little bit more about each of the pillars.
Yes, hello, I am Nora, a project manager at CEU iLab. And as Agi said, I will go through these services that you will get as a team who is incubated at CEU iLab. So one of the most important pillars is mentoring. So every team is matched with a lead mentor, and this lead mentor is providing guidance to the team in the form of one-on-one sessions, which are held monthly. And apart from the lead mentoring, the teams also get access to skill mentors. So skill mentors are available for one-time consultations in specific topics. So, for example, if you are just about to craft your business plan, then you can have access to a skill mentor who is an expert in business plans. Or if you need advice concerning IP or marketing or sales, then we would connect you with a specific expert in that field. Another important pillar is education. So the teams who participate in the incubation program, they have regular sessions in entrepreneurship-related topics with CEU faculty and experts, and they can also participate in CEU courses, which is a great asset that our teams get, as these are usually courses held by the Department of Economics and Business at CEU that Agi has already told you about. So the quality of education at this department is like top level on a global scale, and you can profit from the know-how that you get there. Then another service that you will get is tracking. So we have a data analyst. You will also meet him very soon. He's Mac, and he's constantly tracking your financial and performance progress, and you can talk about it with your mentors. Another important thing that we provide you is the co-working space. So teams are free to use the CEU iLab co-working office throughout their incubation. And when a team graduates from the incubation program, they have access to alumni plans. And the teams also have access to CEU facilities, both in Budapest and Vienna campuses, let it be a conference room or a meeting room. So any kind of facility you need, you can book it. Another important asset that we give to our teams is our global network. And on the next slide, you can see some examples to this network. So these are some of the organizations that we are part of, and of course all this is for the benefit of our startups. And we are also involved in many international projects, which you can see on the next slide. So for example, during the quarantine in the spring, we participated in the EU versus Virus Pan-European Hackathon, which was the biggest hackathon to this day in Europe. And we also have a V4 Venture Drill project running with the aim to make the startups in the V4 region more visible for international investors. And we also have a US mentoring project. We are just launching this one, and the aim of this is to introduce the US startup mentoring tradition in Hungary and into the region. And this project is funded by the US Embassy in Hungary. So these are some of the examples of the international project work that we are involved in. And another service that you will get is internship. So CEU Business Masters and International Business Law students complete consulting assignments for your team. And you can apply to participate in this program, and these CEU student interns will work on your assignments for months. And then, of course, we also have many events, like professional and social events, and these are great opportunities for our startups to show themselves. Here are a couple of examples: enriching the in Europe tour of US investors, or Service Design Day. We are one of the organizers of this program, and CEU iLab Summer Outing, which is a tradition every summer at CEU iLab. And there are, of course, plenty of other programs that you will be involved in. And the last service that I wanted to talk about is research. So you are free to use the CEU library and the research facilities. So these are the main services that we provide, and this is the iLab management team. So you will be in touch with us, and of course also our mentor pool, but this is the core team. And of course we are always available and accessible, so you are free to call us or email us or use the messenger to get in touch with us, and we will answer your questions. And now I will give it over to Mark, who is our data analyst, and he's going to talk about the application process.
All right. Hi, folks. My name is Mark. I'm the data analyst at iLab, and amongst other things, I am responsible for the whole application workflow. So the process of the application goes as you have to go on our website, ilab.ceu.edu, and then you have to submit the application form. It is very basic. We just ask for your name, for your project idea, and when we get that, I will contact you with further details, because the application is not so simple. So we are going to give you a questionnaire, It is nothing fancy. We just want to hear about the idea in more detail, meaning that we want to see what you want to do, how you perceive the competition, how you perceive your possible customers, and where are you, what have you done so far? And we'd like to see a pitch deck as well. So when you send in the application form on our website, I will contact you and basically answer all your questions and send you the link to the application, the questionnaire. And then after all the applications come in by the deadline, we are creating a shortlist and we are inviting the shortlisted teams for an interview. And after the interviews, we deliberate on which teams, which project ideas we want to accept, and then we welcome you, and then we onboard a new cohort. You'll see a few dates here. The 7th of February and the 22nd to the 24th of February are the very strict ones. They are more or less set in stone. But we reserve the right to modify the other deadlines a bit because we're trying to accommodate all of your needs, and all of your questions need to be answered. So basically, this is the high-level look of the application process, and I'm going to be here to answer all of your questions, any and all. And I'd like to emphasize that this is not an exam. This is not a very strict thing. We just like to know more about your idea and your team and yourself. So please don't look at this as some kind of necessary evil we have to go through, because this truly gives us a lot of information, and we found in the past few years, and how the cohorts come and go, that a few well-placed questions really can mean the world. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mark, and thank you, Nora. So this was just a short summary of what we do here in the iLab, what our one-year incubation program is about. And of course, here you can see our contacts. Please visit our website, because we have pretty detailed information on our website. And if you have any questions, you can send an email to this email address. And as I mentioned, if you have any questions now, just type them in the chat box and we will answer them in the end. And now I will stop sharing my screen, because now we will start the panel discussion. So I will turn to our founders who are here with us tonight. So first of all, thanks a lot, Emoke, Csaba, and Tamas, for being here. I know you are all very busy. For example, Csaba and Tamas, you also work with us as mentors. We just had a mentoring session with Csaba, so I think he already spent almost the whole day with us. So we really appreciate that. So we would like to ask you a couple of questions from you about your experience in the iLab. But first of all, please introduce yourselves very shortly, who you are and what your startup is doing. Shall we start with Emoke? If you are here.
Yes.
Hi, Emoke. Hi.
So hi, I'm Emoke Krigler-Toth. I'm a co-founder and managing director of Joyrider. We established our company at the beginning of 2019 with the intention of creating and producing a premium TV drama series for the international market. Currently, we have two ongoing projects. These are two co-productions. One is a Serbian-Hungarian and the other one is a Polish-Hungarian TV series. And we have 9 other projects.
Mm-hmm. Which I can see Aranyélet in the back of it.
Yeah, I'm sitting in our office now. So
okay. Do you have something to do with that series?
Yes, my partner, business partner and life partner was the main creator of Aranyélet, Golden Life, which was a very successful Hungarian TV series made by HBO Europe.
Yeah, I really liked it. So you are a family business?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Emoke. So I see Tommy, would you like to continue?
Yes. So, hi everyone. My name is Tamas Nagy. I'm founder of Absorice. We do protein bars and protein powders that are gluten-free, lactose-free, and vegan. So we develop them, we manufacture them, and then we sell them in Hungary and across Europe as well. So more or less, we've been on the market for a couple of years now. We sold more than 2 million bars over since we started, and tons of protein powders as well. So we're in the food business mainly.
Okay, great. Thanks. I wanted to ask what was your biggest achievement, but probably you just mentioned it, no? Selling all those bars.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Csaba, are you here? I can't see you. I have seen you. Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
Great.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi everyone. It's Csaba Hetenyi. I'm one of the co-founders of Plantcraft. My partner is Kati Ohans. She is Hungarian by origin, but she's living in New Zealand. So it's a relatively international startup. We are working on a similar field like Absor. So what we have a special IP, and with the help of this IP, we are producing plant-based, so vegan deli products, salamis, pates, and other stuff. This is not only vegan, but it's also allergen and additive free. So this is the real USP of the product what we have. We are still in the pre-revenue phase. We plan to launch in this quarter, both in Europe with Hungarian production and in the US as well with the US production.
Mm-hmm. So what was your biggest achievement so far?
Our biggest achievement is, the investment what we have. So in 3 steps, we attracted to almost $2.5 million angel seed proceed. That's a question of terminology. Investment from a Hungarian VC partner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so thanks for giving us a little bit of information about what you guys are doing. So my next question would be, at what stage of your startup journey did you decide to start an incubation program, and why at CEU? I assume you were all at different levels in the process. Some of you are CEU students, some of you are not. So what was the reason why you decided to come to the CEU iLab? Who would like to start with this question? Yeah, Emoke, you can go ahead.
Yes, so I graduated from CEU. I've studied in a program, it was a business program, and it's called Technology Management and Innovation, which put a strong emphasis on entrepreneurship. So during my studies, we visited several incubation programs, and all of them, CEU iLab was the most convincing for me and for us. I always want to be part of the iLab, so that is why we decided to join. And since both of my business partners are coming from the creative side of a production of the business, I thought it is a good idea for them as well to learn something about the business part. But most of the time I was the one who was present in the courses. But
And that was the time when you started your business, or you already started working on it before you joined the iLab?
We started Joyrider at the beginning of 2019, and we joined iLab that autumn, so that's September, after we got funded. So we got an investment, and after that we joined iLab.
Okay, thank you. Tamas, how was it for you? Or Csaba, or whoever wants to go first?
Tamas, just go.
Okay.
Keep the sequence.
Thanks. So I'm also an alumni of CEU. I did an MBA at CEU, And as I finished my MBA, I wanted to bring my startup to the Innovations Lab. So in that, so I was in a full-time program. That means it's only 9 months. So when I started the program at CEU, I already have had my startup, and we had also raised a first seed fund to develop the products. And once after I graduated, and the iLab started running, actually we're one of the first teams joining the iLab.
That's true, yeah. Okay, so for you it was clear because you were already studying here, and that was the time when the iLab was starting. So you wanted to be the first startup, the first product. Okay, Csaba?
Yeah, in our case, I think Andras.
You were not a CEU student, right?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Now one of our co-founders, he's not in the company. Yeah, he's not in the company now. Andras was a CEU MBA student, as far as I know. So that was the link. And just to present the stage where we stepped into the iLab, maybe the best thing is to talk about the presentation what we had at the very beginning, because I remember that I just showed up the past because, okay, one step back. So the IP what we have is not only for plant-based deli products, but for many other things, for pastas, for meal mixes and other stuff. And I remember that the first presentation we showed that, so this is the pasta which was already done. So it was an existing product. And we said that, okay, this is the pasta, and that's what we don't want to do. We want to make deli products from the IP what we have. And that's the only thing what we did know at that time. So we had only dreams, and we had some really not so close dreams, but we absolutely had no idea how to reach them. So we needed a very, very deep support in many fields: the planning, marketing, branding, and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. So this is also an interesting example that you came with a different idea and you changed to something completely different already.
Pivoting is a very important word. What we have
and that happens often.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, you started the program. You made your decision. Great. What have you gained from the iLab incubation program, and how did it help you in scaling up the project? Shall we go in the usual turn? Maybe, Emoke? Okay.
So all the three of us, we worked at companies. So we left our corporate life to establish our own company. And in that, CEU iLab was a great helping hand, informing Joyrider and informing our new company or enterprise. iLab mentors have us a lot in creating sales and brand strategies, and I am really grateful for the guidance of our finance mentor, because none of us is coming from the finance side, and he helped us a lot in understanding the financial side of the company. Mm-hmm. And it is very good to know you can turn to somebody if you need any help in any area of managing a company. Mm-hmm. So that is good.
Yeah, as I remember, you also visited some courses during the incubation program and workshops, and so what do you think? Which element? Which element of the complete incubation program was the most helpful for you? Which one would you mention?
It is very helpful that you have access to CEU business courses, because as Nora said, it's top level, every class and every teacher, and all of the professors are excellent and very supportive. And the other thing is that they always know what they are talking about, because most of them are working as practitioners of their area. So it was really helpful.
Okay, thank you. Tamas, what have you gained from the program?
Yes, I think, of course, there are many things. I've been in the island for a long time now, and also coming from the CEU MBA program, it was a little bit different because I already had like a big chunk of the mentorship that the iLab provides in the CEU course. But for me, the iLab network turned out to be most valuable across time, and they find out that in 2 ways. One is the social network. So if you come to the iLab, you will meet other several startups, and you make new friends. You see inspiration on the other teams that are doing well. You see that other people are also struggling with sales, with motivation, with their partners. So there's many problems that arise, and being part of the iLab helps on the day-to-day, which is on the long term, I think it's a big determinant of how you will do. And on the other hand, the business school has a great business, or the iLab itself has a great business network, meaning that if you want to raise money, you can get in contact with most VCs in Hungary across the CEU network. So you don't have to cold call anyone. You just ask around, and then you will get some guidance. If you need support on marketing, or for us, even in making contacts to sell our products, we received help from the iLab faculty. So the business network is very good, but it's also a bit on how much you can use the resources of the iLab. So that depends on how much can you get out of the iLab, on what you need, how active you are, how involved you are with the things, and can you ask the right questions to the right people? Do you get to know the mentor? So do you share your current problems? All these I think matter. And what I would add shortly is also that you have to ask yourself, okay, what can you give to the iLab? Because it's a reciprocal relationship. Many times the teams that are here like to promote the iLab or participate in mentoring if they are asked to, or the events. So it's not always about thinking what can you get, but also maybe what can you give. And this makes it a really nice place to be and to work.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I love the office, the place here. We are at CEU, and it's great to have an office in a so well located place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, now we are already open with, of course, keeping the very strict regulation, but fortunately, the iLab has a really big co-working office, so we can manage to stay away from each other. So fortunately, we can still come in and work from here. Like we are also here in the iLab right now, and Tamas as well. So fortunately, we can still use it, but these days, the building is not so crowded, unfortunately. So, okay, thanks, Tamas. So, Csaba, what would you mention? What was the most helpful for you?
Well, I would more or less repeat what Tamas said, but with a slight difference. In our time, because of practical reasons, the R&D was in a different place. We had to travel a lot. Practically, we haven't really used the real facility, so the office facility of iLab, so we were relatively remote. But for us, the most important thing was the networking in every respect, so that the mentors on one hand, the ideas from you guys, from Andrea, that here I've just had a chat with this guy from US. Do you want to talk to him? So this kind of networking and assistance direct leads to potential buyers and co-manufacturers. From Tamas, for example, co-manufacturing. So many ideas what we could share with each other, even if even if we worked in a completely different areas. So actually, although we were not there, but this is a big family, and it's good to be part of a big family.
Mm-hmm. And you and Tamas as well, you both came back as mentors. Yep. So I guess you guys are pretty busy, but that you still decided to do this. So why? Do you have so much free time?
No, that's not true. But yeah, I mean, it's good to get, but it's better to give. This is number one. And the second is that it's really I wouldn't say funny. It's really good to see teams in an initial phase, just to see the stages where they are, to see the mistakes, what they are doing, to have a storyteller about our problems in the past. You remember just today. So there are so many things where you can help, and it's really good to have. So it's awesome. Thank you, and I appreciate that you invited me.
Well, we appreciate that you are here, and this is also a huge help for us. So this is, for example, a good example on how we work. We have many startup founders who went through our program and became already really successful, and we don't even have to. We not always have to ask them to come back, because they offer to come back, and this is really great to see, because that's also a really nice confirmation to us that what we did was, well, not bad, and they really want to give back. And I think they are really the best mentors, the founders who went through the process themselves. So we really appreciate of all the help that you are doing. So so my next question would be about your work-life balance, because this is something that we really often get these questions, that building a startup takes a lot of time, and founders usually they really don't have time to anything else. But going through our program, we do have some obligatory things, like, for example, you need to submit these monitoring reports, you need to participate in all these sessions sometimes. So how was it for you? Was it very time consuming to build your startup and to participate in the incubation program? How could you balance or survive? Emoke, how was it for you? You also visited courses, did homework.
Yes. I think, as I already did this TMI program at CEU, I've learned a lot of things about entrepreneurship. And the incubation did not cost me that much time, but my advice would be, if you are starting from scratch and you have no experience in building up a company or entrepreneurship, I think you should need as many hours into the incubation as you can, and use the given opportunities, like take part in classes, and talk to the mentors a lot, because this really helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Tommy, in your case, you were not just building your startup, but you were still studying, right? So how did you manage, and how time consuming was it for you to participate in the iLab? I think maybe back then we didn't have so many opportunities yet.
Yeah, so back then when the iLab started, then we had much less structure. It was more like a startup itself in the beginning, that then you want to see what the goals are, what the opportunities are, what the teams did. So in our case, the incubation process didn't take much time. Although when I was doing the MBA at CEU, which is like a more extensive and more condensed version of maybe what you can get on the iLab, it obviously takes time, but it's time well invested. But you need to know, because if you're more advanced, you still can come to the iLab and then maybe you already know how to write a business plan, so you don't need to do that, and the financial courses or go through the protocol. It's it depends from person to person, but doing a startup takes usually a lot of time, and you can, in my opinion, you can only do it if you're willing to allocate that time. So it's not, if you have the mentality of, oh, today I work 12 hours again, and now when I will be free, it's it will be hard, because then you can burn out. But if you find meaning on what you're doing, or you have big goals, or you have like big ambitions, then you don't count anymore more the hours. You just think about, or the way I do it is I don't think about working hours. I think about priorities. And to be honest, I always find time for my personal life. So if I want something, I just do it, and you have more freedom as well. So if you don't want to wake up early, you don't. You can work late, or you do whatever you want, as long as you get the results. So I don't know if that answered the question, but
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Csaba. What would you say?
So many things. First, I'm kind of hyperactive person, so it was not a problem. The lucky coincidence is that since we received the first investment more or less at the same time when we started the incubation, it means that we had very similar obligations toward the investors and to the iLab, quarterly reports and others. So it was not a big headache. But just repeating what Tamas is saying, so the more you put in, the more you can take out. So that I would recommend iLab to those who really want to go forward and to improve, and just use the mentors, use everyone, and take out everything, squeeze it as much as you can. So this is not this several months is not for being lazy, but it's much better if you use all the assets what you have there.
Exactly. And as far as I know, when you started the incubation, you didn't have a full-time job or anything else. You were focusing on building your own startup, right?
For me, it's never like that. So I always have at least 3 or 4 jobs. Right now, I just it's only 2 now. But again, so I would just seeing some examples. So if you have a normal daily job and parallel to that go to incubation, I'm not 100% sure that it works. So that's you should focus.
Actually, I'm just asked this because in our current cohort, we do have some teams. We do have some founders who have a full-time daily job, and they do and they work on their startup besides that. So it's possible as well. They are doing pretty well. Of course, unfortunately, they don't really have the time to come and work from here, from the co-working office, but. Since we have this COVID situation, this is not a problem anymore, fortunately or unfortunately, because of course we can have everything, all these program elements of our incubation can be delivered online as well. So it is also possible to do this maybe from another country. Also, currently we have 2 online teams who are living in other countries doing the incubation online. Okay, I think that was all the questions that I wanted to ask you. And now I suggest we go to the questions from the audience. I see we have already some questions in the chat, so let's see. I will read out the questions, and then whoever wants to answer, either some of my colleagues, Nora or Mark, or you guys can also answer. So, question from Jolt: to what level of details an idea project needs to be prepared in order to be meaningfully considered by CEU iLab? Okay, so I think this is a question to us. We usually admit early stage ideas, so you don't need to be already an operating company. You don't even need to have a company yet. If you have a good idea and a dedicated and competent team, then you have good chances to be admitted. if Nora or Mark wants to add anything, then please feel free. So I don't want to be the only person talking, but I think so we do we look for early stage ideas. Okay, the next question from Anupam. Is it okay for growth stage startups to apply? We are a health tech present 6 countries across Asia. We plan to explore Europe and looking to launch through Central Europe, hopefully Hungary. Yes, as I mentioned, you are already in the growth stage, that's fine. Besides having early idea stage projects, we also have some projects that are already more advanced when they start the incubation. Like this year, we have projects which already got investment at the time when they started the program, but we also have projects which were only in the idea stage. So both are welcome. Okay, next question. In order to join, is it required to have the business model or business model canvas, BMC, ready? Or even if we have only the idea, it is still okay to apply? Yes, maybe I should have gone through the questions first because they are very similar. So yes, as I mentioned, if you only have an idea, you can apply. Of course, we will evaluate it during the interview, but it is fine to apply only with an idea. What is the fee associated with participating in your program? Do you operate under similar equity models like other incubators? Yes, we take a 1.5 equity from our iLab teams. This is an equity option, so we may not exercise it. We may exercise it if the program is over and we think that the project is successful, or if you get investment. I hope that was right, Nora and Mark. Okay. What is the average team size for startups at the time of iLab incubation? Good question. Because every year we have some projects which are one-man shows that only one person has an idea and they apply to the program. It is possible, but our experience is that you need a team. So most of the time, it's usually at least 2 people. But I think in our current cohorts, we have teams with 4 to 6 people. I think that's the maximum, or 4 is the maximum. Most of the teams are 2 people or 3. So that's the average size. We really suggest to not to stay alone with your project. Even if you have a great idea and you think that you are able to do it, it's always best to build a team. Even if it's just the 2 of you in the beginning, we suggest to apply with someone else at least. Okay. You're welcome, Anupam. Okay. Could CEU iLab help with company establishment in other countries, primarily Eastern Europe, besides Hungary? Well, yeah, of course we will. In this case, we always use our network. As we mentioned, we have a wide international network. And if any of our teams would like to establish a company in the different country, we can assist them with finding the necessary partners or contacts. So it happened already many times that teams founded their company during the incubation in other countries as well, not just in Hungary.
And we can also help you with legal advice, because we have mentioned this, one of these services that we have that you can apply for like participating in consultancy projects, where when it's CEU students who will carry out this consultancy. So it's possible that that the assignment for the legal students would be a question related to company establishment, like where you should establish your country, where the circumstances the best. So absolutely, I think
Exactly.
we can help a lot with that through our legal students and legal network.
Especially because, as we mentioned, students at CEU are really diverse. They're coming from various different countries. In the international business law class, usually there are only a few Hungarians. Most of the time, every student comes from a different country. So most probably we can even find you a student who comes from that particular country. Okay, and there is a question here to Tamas. A question to Absorice. Why is it vegan, and how do you come with the idea? How do you come with the idea? What are the pros and cons of the vegan feature? If there is still opportunity for vegan food startups, we are going to apply. I think, Tamas, you can also see the chat, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So first question, why is the product vegan, and then how did I come up with the idea? So I had milk protein allergies, and I was doing weightlifting, and I needed a protein supplement, but at the time there was no really good alternative that was not milk based. So there was egg protein, but that gives you bloating, and then you had soy protein and nothing else. So I found rice protein, and we actually started doing rice protein powders. So that's how we came up with the idea. It was a need, but
like every good startup idea, right? Like every good startup idea comes from your own pain. That's what we usually say.
It might, but also I think if you have if you like business, then you are continuously looking for business ideas. So you think, oh, that's a great opportunity. Oh, that's a great business idea. So I was looking several, and I researched several ideas, and this one was the one that that then we landed, and we went with that. And what are the pros and cons of the vegan feature? Well, there are many. So one pro is that the target market is very well defined. So you can target the vegan market relatively easily. So you define them. They're easy to reach. They're easy to sell. The con is that it's still a niche market, especially in Hungary, although it's growing quite much. A pro and a con at the same time is that veganism is quite controversial. Many people are for vegans, other people are against. So that might be good, might be bad, but it's be an opportunity. And is there still opportunity for other vegan startups? Well, Csaba as well has a plant-based startup. So definitely, yes, as long as I guess the idea is good, the project is well defined, and you want to do it. There's no monopoly of any niche in the iLab, I guess. It's open to any good business idea.
Maybe the question was related to the market, if there is still an opportunity on the vegan market, or is it already very crowded? I don't think so it is, but...
Well, in my opinion, in the vegan market, there's a lot of room for innovation yet. So food market in general is quite crowded, and there's lots of big companies that have been on the market for a long time with big manufacturing facilities and machines, etc., or big like franchises. But the good thing about the vegan market is that there's lots of room for innovation, and I think the boom is now. The opportunity is there now. So if you have a good idea that's innovative, then go for it.
Exactly. And I don't know if we mentioned it, maybe Nora mentioned it, that this year one of our focus area will be food and health. So the answer is definitely yes. Within the iLab, there is still opportunity for vegan food startups. So of course, you are welcome to apply if you have a vegan food startup idea. Okay, the next question is, currently I am in Hungary, but my co-founder is in France. Can he apply with me? Absolutely. This is possible. Even this year we have teams like this. For example, we have a team where one of the founders is here in Hungary, he sometimes comes to the iLab and participates in the program, and the co-founder is in Romania. We have a team who is in India, so they can only participate online. We have another team which is in Spain, so they can also participate online. So this is absolutely possible. Okay, and there is another question here. How many ideas, teams do you incubate at once? So we have 2 cohorts each year. One cohort starts in October and other one in February. So we have, in the October cohort, we have, I think, admitted 14 teams, and there are 10 teams who are still in the program. There is always a few teams who leave even in the beginning or during the program for various reasons, but currently we have 10 teams from in the program who started in October, and we have 4 teams who started the program in February last year. And we have a couple of teams who are still in the incubation, because after the 1-year incubation program, it is possible to extend the incubation if both the team and we as the iLab feel that it would be worth to stay maybe for 1 more year or half a year in the program. So how many do we have right now? Nora or Mark, can you help me out with this?
22 who are actively incubated.
22 actively, yeah. I can never memorize this number, sorry. So 22 right now, and hopefully next month we will have even more. Okay, so we have a few more questions here. Do you provide feedback on why an idea was not chosen? Not only that it was good, but others were better. Yeah, that's not usually the reason why why we don't accept an idea. Yeah, we try to give some positive feedback to help you modify your direction or the idea, so that maybe you can reapply next year. So yes, if you won't get accepted, then you will also get a feedback on what we would suggest, how to change your thinking on how to try and to improve. For example, last year we told to some of the teams that they should reapply next year, because we thought that they could be in a better position. So yes. Okay. Is there any new information on iLab bootcamps, coding and AI? Thanks for the question. Yeah, these are the bootcamps that we are planning for next summer. We already organized a very successful global entrepreneurship bootcamp 2 years ago, because last year we couldn't organize it because of the COVID situation, but we did it 2 years ago in the summer. It was a 2-week boot camp. It was very successful. It was like a basic entrepreneurship course for anyone who had any idea, or even if they didn't have an idea but were really interested in entrepreneurship. So that was a global entrepreneurship program, and we plan to do it again next summer. And we felt the need that it would be really useful to offer a shorter program bootcamp in these other 2 areas like coding and AI. So we are planning to do it this summer, probably end of June and early July. We don't know the exact dates yet, but the coding is planned, I think, either, I think the 1st or 2nd week of July, and then the AI right after. So it will be sometimes in the middle of the summer. Yeah, so we will put up the dates as soon as they are finalized. And we still plan the Global Entrepreneurship Bootcamp as well. That is planned for the end of June. So these bootcamps will follow each other. Okay. Are the terms of the incubation ownership % publicly available? I'm not sure what you mean with this. So as I mentioned, the teams that are admitted to the program, who start the program, we will sign with them a participant letter agreement, which says that we have this 1.5 equity option. So that's, I think it is also listed on our website or in our brochure. I'm not sure if this is what you mean. Well, this is actually the only thing that we ask from the teams. I don't see any other questions here at the moment, but if anyone wants to ask a question in Zoom, then feel free to go ahead. You can all unmute yourself. So please feel free to talk to us. There are still 52 people with us. That's great. I can see some CEU students, some MBA students, but I don't know everyone here. But I see some alumni. Okay. Okay. If there are no other questions and we all said what we wanted to say, I'm looking at our founders, yes.
Sorry,
then
just one question,
yes?
if you don't mind. Sorry for
Sure.
interrupting.
Hi.
Me and my hello again. Sorry, me and my co-founder are working on two innovation idea. Honestly, not only one, and I don't know whether it is possible to apply for both ideas.
Yes, if you think that you cannot decide, then yeah, of course you can apply with both ideas, and then we will make an interview with you, and maybe together we can decide which one to go for.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks.
We will probably suggest to stay with only one.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I have a similar question.
Okay. Hi, Edith.
Hi. It is that we already have one idea that actually falls in line with what I read on your flyer in the design section. But that's already something that we have already been developing for a while, and it has been already kind of sold in the market only in very small portions. And another idea is a totally different field. And we do not have the teams yet for either of the ideas. So what do you suggest having two teams and applying with the two ideas as two separate teams? Or do you also suggest that we could introduce both ideas with the same team and then you help us choose which one we should follow?
Nora, what do you think?
Yes, I think you should introduce both ideas and then we will help you choose. So I definitely think that you should stick to one idea and focus.
The end.
Yeah, but we will help you with your choice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you cannot decide, then of course you can apply with more ideas, but you should at some point think about what is more important to you, what you want to achieve, and then in the end stay with one, because you will definitely not be able to run two projects at the same time. I think that's a little bit too ambitious. And
okay, and all right. And technically, how is it to be done? I mean, like on the application form, can we introduce both ideas, or do we fill in two application forms?
Mm-hmm. Mark, what do you suggest in this case?
All right. So generally, I think you should, if you have multiple ideas, you should apply with all of them. As for I'm trying to find words. So if you have multiple ideas, you should apply with all of them. I don't I think we have a tendency to choose because we think that there is a higher possibility in teams succeeding with one focus. What we'd like to see most of it what you have to show.
And technically, Mark, with one email address or with one account, they can.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Only...
Of course. I there's no problem in that. Just apply. Yeah. When you sorry, just to clarify, when you submit the application form on the website, I will send you a letter with a link to the questionnaire, but you can fill out the questionnaire several times.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
It's not going to be a problem.
Okay, so that's the way to do it then.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, if I can.
Hi, Zoltán.
Hey, Zoltán speaking. Yeah, so my question is, what are the preferred stage of the startups you would like to hire? So, for example, we are a vegan food box, and we sold some of our prototypes. So we are a post-revenue startup, if we consider like this, but we just sold only a few of them. It's a vegan food box like Blue Apron did in the US. It's let's say the same, but in vegan version here in Hungary.
Mm-hmm.
And we already sold some of our products.
Mm-hmm. I think the stage is not as important as the idea. So if we see that you have a great idea, then we will admit you even if you don't even have a product yet, you don't even have an MVP yet. But even if you have an MVP and you already sold some products, if we think that we could help you in growing your project, then we will probably admit you. So it's not a problem. I wouldn't say that we prefer just an idea stage compared to a project which already has an MVP. We take anyone who is in an early stage and is very promising, and we see the opportunity to work well together.
Yes, and actually we have experience with both ideation phase and post-revenue or growth phase startups. So we will definitely be able to help you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other question?
May I have another question?
Sure.
Yes, that one of the ideas I already mentioned, it's based on a patent that is still pending. So we have started the process, but it takes 18 months. So we are not even halfway yet. So shall we mention this? Is it to be considered in the admission process?
Yes, you can mention it, but it won't necessarily affect the decision. But you can mention anything or everything that you find important.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, one more question to Mark, if it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned if you do have a multiple idea, we have to submit the application form on the website, and after that he's going to send us back an email which contains a link to a form in order to fill it.
Yes.
In case we have a multiple idea, should we fill the application form in the website twice or only once in the application website and after that twice in the form that he sent by email?
Right. So just fill in the website application form once, because then what you get from me, the email, it's let's just say it's idea agnostic. So it's a standard email. You just get a link which is not unique. This system is in place because we wanted some personal touch, some contact with the with interested applicants, who wanna apply, people interested in the incubation. At first, we wanted to like contact them personally through an email before they start filling out the questionnaire, because that might have been a bit high of a hurdle, when you just thinking of applying to the incubation and then just seeing like a whole huge questionnaire. So just fill out the website application form once, and then you can apply the content of the email you will get from me several times.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, any other questions? There are still 44 people here.
And it's me again with yet another question.
Okay.
It's that the idea I mentioned where the patent is pending is formulated with mostly the US market in mind. So shall this be mentioned at the application form, or is it's not relevant at that stage?
I think I can answer that because on the application form, there is a question concerning your potential customers. So if you just mention that in half a sentence, that's cool.
And it's good to mention these things because then we see how developed your project is and how serious you are, because you already started filing for a patent. So that's an indication that this project is already running. So I think it would be good to mention all these details.
Oh, thank you. We are definitely pretty dedicated.
Okay, that's
sure.
good.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, is there anyone who still has a question? Even if you cannot think, yes, Edith?
I can't stop asking, sorry.
That's good.
We haven't formed a team yet as such. There are people working on the idea. There are two core people, but the others are not permanent members of the team yet, as it is not a business yet, so people can't afford to become permanent members. Is it okay to mention, I mean, of course they have to mention that, but will you, in the incubation process, suggest what kind of people should be members of the team, meaning what areas shall they cover with their expertise?
Yes, so when you submit your application and we will have an interview, we will definitely look at the team and to see if you have all the strengths that you need in order to grow your project. And if we think that the current setup is fine, then that's great, and we would suggest to apply with your team. But if we will find that maybe you would need some more expertise in this and that area, then we would suggest to maybe make some arrangements and maybe find another team member in this area, or start thinking of how to shift the responsibilities. So we can discuss this with you during the interview.
Thank you.
Okay.
And is there an ideal makeup of a team, regardless of what the actual idea is?
I think that also depends on the idea, what your project is. But it is definitely important to have at least two people, and as I mentioned, not to be alone with the project. But it really depends on what the project is, what you want to achieve with it, what your current professional background is. So I think it depends on many things.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. So if you start developing your idea, you'll see that in time you'll have to decide whether you want to create a base for certain skills in-house or you want to outsource them. But so far, what we've seen is that if you have a team which is large and diverse enough to just fill out a business model canvas, or just write a viable business plan. Viable means that, viable in this stage. That's enough. Commitment is more important than the diversity of knowledge at first.
Thank you.
Okay, there are still 30 people here, so some of you might still have some questions. Of course, if you cannot think of a question right now, no problem. We are here. You can always send us an email, and we are happy to answer you. Let me type here our email address again, but of course, you can find it on our website and in the Facebook event and everywhere. So
once more again, me.
Yes, hello.
Sorry. Hello, Mark, you mentioned about BMC, which is a business model canvas. Should we prepare it, I mean, when we apply, or it's better to prepare it with you guys in the future?
Right. So there will be questions which essentially pertain to some of the elements of the business model canvas. It is absolutely not necessary, but if you think about it, so it's not necessary, but if you have it, if you can write even just a preliminary business model canvas and include that in the pitch deck, that on one hand, it helps us understand you more, and on the other hand, it helps you formalize your idea better. And maybe when you finish filling out the canvas, you realize you have to rewrite your whole application, your whole idea, because you've uncovered some ideas or issues. We've seen this with our teams, that when they started filling out the business model canvas, they realized that they have to write, like different things in different spaces compared to what they thought should go there. So it's absolutely not necessary, but if you have the time and you have the inclination, we welcome it. That's for sure.
Thanks.
Yes, and I have just shared a resource with you. This is an article on the CEU iLab Startup Guide about the winning 3 minutes pitch deck. And although it doesn't have to be 3 minutes in your case, but it's a great collection of tips and ideas about what to include in a pitch deck.
Okay, so if there are no more questions, then as I said, please go to our website. Now we have included here their email address, link to our website. And if you have any other questions, if you will have any other questions later, please send us an email. And as we mentioned, the application deadline is the 7th of February. So really look forward to receiving your application, and we hope that we will see you soon at the interviews. Okay, so thanks everyone for being with us today. Thank you, Tamas, Csaba, and Emoke, who is already left. It was great to have you. Thank you for sharing with us your experience, and we hope to see all of you very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you and good luck.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.